We salute the men who served their country first and then went on to serve the banks. Nigel Lawson, Chancellor, Non-Executive Director of NM Rothschild. John Major, Chancellor and Prime Minister, Chairman, Carlyle Group Europe, and Advisor to Credit Suisse. Tony Blair, Prime Minister, now Senior Advisor to JP Morgan. Jonathan Powell, Chief of Staff to Tony Blair, now Managing Director, Morgan Stanley Investment Division. They shall not grow poor, as we who are left grow poor. At the going down of the banks and in recession, we will remember them.
In future, the people running the banks will have to be more cautious. How much? And his income is what? Oh, OK, but I'll need a full structural survey before I can sign off on it. As Britain continues to run up debt, nationalise the banks and regulate the markets, communist philosophers must be chuckling in their graves. Meanwhile, China's heading the other way and the Russians are doing the splits.
Did you see Robert Pattinson on the TV last night? Boy, those city guys are screwed! We were right all along! Sell your shares and let's start a revolution!
So where do the bankers go from here? Well, now the party's over in London and on Wall Street, bankers and investment managers have decided to pack up and find another party.
Well, in the last couple of years, you'd hear people saying, you know, life's not what it was here. We're going to get hit by terrorists or bird flu or MRSA, or even worse, by having to pay the same tax as our cleaners. So the writing's on the wall. It's Shanghai, Mumbai, Dubai, or bye-bye.
After kicking Russia for 6 in the 1990s, the West are now being invited to try their hand in China.
Oh, yes, indeed. Having dumped Russia into the championship, very much so, in fact, can the West push China into the relegation zone? Now, the tactics are really interesting here, with the capitalists swapping over to the left wing, the socialists changing over to the right, leaving us all in the hole behind. Now, I don't know about you, Graham Taylor, but I'm starting to have a nagging suspicion that both systems are fundamentally flawed. It's starting to look like the Cold War might actually have been a 0-0 draw.
Since 2001, the authorities have allowed Western firms to take small equity stakes in Chinese banks in order to introduce them to superior know-how and risk management practices. Yeah, and if that doesn't stop them, nothing will.
Are you a communist or a capitalist? To find out, simply answer these questions. Do you want fewer and fewer options as a consumer, as small independent businesses and genuine free enterprise are marginalised or crushed? Do you want the public to be at the mercy of a small cartel of unaccountable despots? Do you want to be continually assaulted by relentless propaganda? Do you want your economic system to be doomed to end in failure? If you've answered yes to most or all of these questions, then yes, you are a communist or a capitalist. Congratulations. Welcome to the Democratic Republic of Britain, home of the successful 30th Olympiad and glorious Festival of Sport. And with no less than 76 gold medals and a clean sweep in women's weightlifting, it's certainly been an Olympics to remember. But it's not just in the sporting arena that Britain continues to do well. Under Chairman Balls, all of Britain is enjoying the benefits of socialist living, including subsidised cabbages for young and old and a free flag to wave on Yvette Cooper's birthday.
Well, who'd have thought it, eh? Me, a commie. Still, as they say, better read than Princess Michael. Mind you, bit of a turn-up. Mum dies, Muggins thrown in the deep end. Next day, the whole thing goes Fergie-shaped. And I'm told to flee or face the consequences. Well, I thought, I'm not going anywhere. Not with the winter cabbages just coming through and the orchard needing pruning. So instead, I took my chances. Threw myself on the mercy of the authorities. First mistake. Massive show trial in front of the glorious People's Commissariat under President Ed Balls. Do you plead guilty, they asked. But I haven't done anything. That's the point, they said. Guilty as charged. 50 years hard labour in Gulag Tetbury. Actually, didn't turn out so bad. A bit back-breaking, picking beetroots all day, but at least I feel I'm doing something with my hands. Not keen on the old thought correction unit, though. They kept showing me pictures of Mum and Dad in full regalia, with a voice shouting out, "This is a disgrace!" My voice, actually. The Pinkos and I rather agree on that one. Then they ordered me to appear on television, denouncing decadence. "Can I put in a bit about modern architecture, too?" I said. Nothing doing. They're more concerned about the HRH monogram I'd stitched onto my workers' dungarees. They threatened to take me down the isolation block, as if I hadn't been living in one of those for the last 50 years. And there's always Camilla, still working down the tractor factory. "Chin up," she said. "What chin?" How we laughed. As long as we still got each other. And the Arboretum. Oh, and the Aston. And my premium luxury organic food and drink brand. And several 100 acres of prime agricultural land. We'll survive.
It's the end this time, all right.
It's obviously David Cameron.
Exactly.
Because he's got the look. No, he's got it just right. He's always in a nice suit, a lovely shirt, the hair. He's got the whole thing going.
It's perfect, isn't it? And he looked great on that beach.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, he just, like, that was such a coup de théâtre when he did those shorts.
He nailed it.
He nailed the zeitgeist.
Yes, he absolutely nailed it. Whereas Clegg, nowhere.
Oh, no,
Nowhere.
absolutely hopeless colour-wise. Absolutely hopeless.
Very, very superficial judgment. All we need to find a political leader who can show some dynamism, you know, who can give us some sense of hope in the future, who can break the mould.
Do you think Brown can do that?
I think Brown, well, not only can do it, but I think he did do it at the Labour Party conference, the very moment, and this was a crucial moment in British politics, that Sarah Brown came on stage and introduced him.
Really? And he kissed her.
Yes,
he kissed her.
And that was the moment that everything changed after that. Everything changed politically.
But the problem is, you know, where is this political guidance? I mean, who are these people who are supposed to be telling us how we get along in this country? I mean, it's not Gordon Brown, is it?
Yes, I think it is. Because he's already done it. He, at the Labour Party conference, he came up with something which was, if anybody had noticed it, would have been really inspiring, which would have actually laid down political discourse for the next 20 years. He did it in 6 words.
What? Well, I didn't hear them.
6 words.
What were they?
All right, they were, insulate your loft for half price. I mean, that is the 21st century equivalent of man is born free but is everywhere in chains. It's big,
But, you know,
big.
You could be right. This could be something concrete at last. I mean, you know, if the whole nation was laying polystyrene in their attics, I mean, it could just rally
I suppose
people.
it could be like, you know, it was in the war, in the bomb shelters and everything.
Yeah, but the trouble is that you won't be with all the others in the bomb shelter. You'll be alone in the rafters, and you won't be singing "Roll Out the Barrel."
No, darling, look, I'm going to say it, and I mean this. If it's for the good of society, then I, for one, am prepared to have my loft insulated.
Yes, I suppose. I mean, you know, an Armani shirt versus lagging your pipes.
Yes, that's the political
We
divide.
already have insulated the loft, my darling.
No, then just rip it out and have it all done again.
No,
Because it's free.
Well, no, it's not actually free for people like us. We have
What
to
do you
pay
mean?
half price. Well, there are certain groups for whom it's free.
Who's it free for?
People on low incomes, people on housing
Oh,
benefits.
it's not shake hands.
Well, they've got to be helped.
Why?
Why?
Why do they have to be helped?
No.
Why do these people... I mean, we know who we're talking about. I don't have to...
Say it.
We know
Say it out loud,
Right, the
sweetheart.
working class.
Yes.
The working class.
The bloody working
Bloody
class. This is for calling a spade a spade. And while we're at it, it's the bloody working class who started this meltdown of our finances in the first place.
Absolutely.
That's an exaggeration.
No, it's true.